My name is Cassie, and this is my ScreenCast assignment. I chose 3 different students' works, and although they aren't similar, I found it very interesting the unique way that they go about doing their math. So for this first one, in the textbook on page 240, it talks about connecting addition and subtraction to place value. In our kindergarten class right now, which is where my placement is, we have been trying to encourage students to get groups of 10, and when they're subtracting, they cross out whatever number is being taken away. So for this first one, there's a group of 10, and then there is one shell that is crossed out. So they count how many is left, and they get 9. So when they focus on the 10s and they cross out the different shells that are being taken away, this helps them understand basically the same way that they would if they were to use their fingers and take away their fingers. This is just more of a visual and written down example. For this next student, it seems that they have had trouble. They're adding instead of subtracting in the first row, and I don't really see their thinking in the last 2 rows, but each answer in the flower should either be a 2, 3, or 4, according to the color code on the bottom right of the screen right here. So once the students color the first couple flowers, once they get the answer, then they should be able to pick up that there is a pattern. So up here, if the student were to subtract them as they were supposed to instead of add them like they did, they would have gotten 2 for 10 minus 8, 3 for 10 minus 7, and 4 for 10 minus 6. As they go on, they should have realized that they're coloring in red for the first one, yellow for the second one, orange for the third one, and the pattern continues. 10 minus 8 is 2, which is red again. 9 minus 6 is 3, which is yellow. 9 minus 7 is 4, which is orange. And once they get that pattern, they could just color in the flowers and then figure out that, oh, this color is red, so this flower must have the answer 2, and so forth. So on page 307 of the textbook, it actually starts to discuss patterns. And the patterns that this worksheet is talking about is repeating patterns. The repeating patterns actually makes up a lot of our world. There's repeating patterns in our months, days, weeks, and so forth. So if a student starts to understand repeating patterns, then doing worksheets such as this would ultimately help them to be more successful. This third worksheet that a student completed, I kind of went into more depth. I found a resource online because I wasn't able to find any activities that the students would be able to do on their own within the textbook, although it does talk about adding and subtracting single-digit numbers, which is what this worksheet is about. On page 254, it talks about that. But reading through those, I didn't see a strategy that I could use in my kindergarten placement with those students and have them actually be able to understand it. So I went and researched my own, and I found this resource, Addition Fact Strategies, which is actually in the Van de Waal textbook still, but it's just in a different volume. So what I did was I went through and looked at the worksheet and basically looked at what each strategy the child should have used. So in this first one, we see here that they used count on. So count on is adding 1 or 2 to a given number. So here, 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 6 plus 2, all of the add-ins are either 1 or 2. The second one is facts with 0. So any addend that's 0 would be considered in this category of facts with 0, which is a little bit easier for the students to understand, because anything plus 0 is just the first addend. And then here we discuss doubles. So doubles is easy. It's 2. It's 2 of the same number that are being added together. So here we have 5 plus 5, 4 plus 4, and 3 plus 3. This one is doubles plus 1. So doubles plus 1 is where one addend is one more than the other, making them into doubles. So here we have 4 plus 3. So if you were to add 1 to the 3, it would make the double be a 4 plus 4. Down here, 4 plus 5, you add 1 to the 4, it would be 5 plus 5. And then the last one up here, 2 plus 3, if you add 1 to the 2, it would be 3 plus 3. And then this the second to last one is combination of 10. So combination of 10 is where the answer equals 10. So 6 plus 4, 7 plus 3, and 4 plus 6. And the last one here is counting on with order commutative property. So this means that the smaller number comes first. So there's only 2 examples in this worksheet. It's the 1 plus 4 and the 1 plus 8. I feel as though if we were to talk about these different strategies and implement them into our kindergarten classrooms, I think that students would be able to have an easier time trying to figure out what the answers are. And although these students didn't have similar struggles, I still feel like they still have the same sort of issues. One is adding, and some of the numbers they write backwards, which is a big issue in most of these students' works. So there's a 9 backwards here, and in this one there's 3 backwards, and there's a 6 that's upside down for some reason. So I think that if we were to implement these more, then we would have more successful students in our future.